Have you ever left a conversation feeling confused, like something wasn't quite right? Maybe you suddenly felt guilty, pressured, or responsible for something that wasn't really your fault. Psychology explains that manipulation often works quietly and subtly. In many cases, people don't even realize they are being influenced. Understanding these behaviors can help protect your decisions and emotional well-being. Today we will explore 7 psychological signs that someone might secretly be manipulating you. Let's start with the first sign. They make you doubt your own memory. One of the most powerful manipulation techniques is making someone question their own memory or perception. Imagine you bring up something important, and they respond with, "That never happened," or "You're remembering it wrong." Maybe they even tell you, "You're overreacting." Over time, this repeated denial can make a person doubt their own judgment. Psychologists call this behavior gaslighting, and it can gradually weaken a person's confidence in their own thoughts. When this happens repeatedly, the manipulator gains more control over the situation, leaving you feeling uncertain and reliant on their version of reality. It's a subtle but damaging tactic that chips away at your self-trust. The second sign is that they use guilt to influence your decisions. Manipulators are masters at using guilt as a tool to get what they want. Instead of directly asking for something, they might frame it in a way that makes you feel emotionally responsible. You might hear phrases like, "If you really cared about me, you would help." Or the classic, "After everything I've done for you." These statements are designed to trigger a sense of obligation and emotional pressure. Rather than making a decision based on your own logic and desires, you start responding to their emotional demands. Recognizing this pattern is crucial. It helps you separate genuine requests from emotional manipulation, allowing you to make choices that are truly your own, not ones driven by guilt. Now, for the third sign, they constantly change the topic when confronted. Have you ever tried to have a serious conversation about a problem, only for the other person to completely sidestep it? When manipulators are confronted about their behavior, they often avoid the original issue. Instead of addressing your concern, they might suddenly bring up a completely different problem, or worse, find a way to blame you for something else entirely. Psychologists describe this tactic as deflection. By shifting the focus of the conversation, they skillfully prevent it from ever reaching a clear resolution. This leaves you feeling frustrated and unheard, while the real issue gets buried. It's a clever way to dodge accountability and maintain control of the narrative. The fourth sign to watch for is excessive flattery. Compliments are usually a wonderful thing, a sign of genuine appreciation. However, when someone showers you with excessive praise, especially very early on in a relationship, it might be a strategic move known as love bombing. This tactic is designed to create a strong emotional attachment by overwhelming you with attention, admiration, and affection. The goal is to make you feel incredibly special and valued. But once you're emotionally invested, the dynamic can shift. The manipulator may begin to influence your behavior, using that initial bond as leverage. It's so important to understand the difference between genuine kindness and strategic flattery designed to gain an advantage. Let's move on to the fifth sign. They create artificial urgency. Manipulators often push people to make decisions quickly, without giving them time to think things through. They might say things like, "You need to decide right now," or "This opportunity will disappear if you wait." This manufactured sense of urgency is a powerful tool because it reduces the time you have for rational thinking and careful consideration. When people feel rushed, they're more likely to rely on emotional reactions and gut feelings, rather than logical evaluation. This tactic is incredibly common, not just in personal relationships but also in sales, negotiations, and many other persuasive conversations. It's a way of pressuring you into a choice that benefits them before you have a chance to see any potential downsides. The sixth psychological sign is that they slowly increase their requests. This manipulation technique is subtle and builds over time. It starts with a small, easy-to-grant request. Once you agree to that minor favor, the requests gradually become larger and more demanding. Psychologists call this the foot-in-the-door technique. It works because people have a natural desire to be consistent with their previous decisions. So, if you've already said yes once, you're more likely to say yes again, even when the request becomes unreasonable. Before you know it, you might find yourself doing something you would have initially refused, all because the process was so gradual. It's a slow erosion of your boundaries that can be hard to notice until you read in too deep. This is a very common and powerful form of emotional manipulation. A manipulator will often try to make you believe that you are the cause of their feelings. You might hear them say things like, "You made me angry," or "You're the reason I feel this way." While emotions are valid, every individual is ultimately responsible for managing their own reactions and feelings. Blaming others for personal emotions is a way to shift control and pressure someone into changing their behavior to accommodate the manipulator's emotional state. It creates a dynamic where you feel like you're constantly walking on eggshells, trying to manage their feelings for them, which is an unfair and unsustainable burden. So, let's quickly review the 7 signs we've discussed. 1. Making you doubt your own memory or perception. 2. Using guilt as a form of pressure. 3. Changing the topic when confronted to avoid accountability. 4. Using excessive flattery or love bombing. 5. Creating a false sense of urgency. 6. Gradually increasing their requests over time. And 7. Making you feel responsible for their emotions. Recognizing these behaviors is the first step toward protecting yourself and maintaining healthy boundaries in your relationships. Human psychology is incredibly complex, and influence is a natural, unavoidable part of communication. But when that influence crosses the line into manipulation, it can seriously affect your relationships, your confidence, and your ability to make clear decisions. Learning to recognize these patterns allows you to maintain control over your own choices and protect your emotional boundaries. Awareness is truly one of the most powerful tools we have for protecting our mental well-being. If you enjoy learning about the hidden patterns of human behavior and want to understand more about how the mind works, subscribe to our channel for more psychology insights. Thanks for watching.